Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep into undergraduate neuroscience programs right here in California.
Yeah, specifically looking at a few key options.
Think of this as your shortcut, really. Whether you're weighing college applications, maybe thinking about a career shift, or maybe you're just really fascinated by the brain.
And there are quite a few places in California doing interesting work, that's for sure. For today, we've gathered, well, a good stack of info,
Right.
including an overview of some top programs and, importantly, details on UC Berkeley's brand new undergraduate neuroscience major that's just launching fall 2024.
Brand new. Okay, so our goal here, our mission for this deep dive is to pull out the key info on neuroscience or related stuff at 3 universities: Santa Clara, University of San Francisco, and UC Berkeley.
Exactly. We want to highlight what makes each one distinct, their unique flavor, and what might make one the right fit for you.
And that brings up a good point. What part of neuroscience really grabs you? Because as we'll see, these places approach it differently.
Mm-hmm. Different resources, different vibes, different experiences. So yeah, the aim is a clear overview, engaging, hopefully, but not, drowning in jargon.
Okay, let's kick things off down in the South Bay, then work our way up.
Hmm.
First stop, Santa Clara University, SCU.
Right, SCU. So the sources say they have a dedicated undergraduate neuroscience major. It's housed in their College of Arts and Sciences.
Dedicated major. Okay, so if that's what you're looking for, that sounds like a strong start right there.
Yeah, and what jumps out is how interdisciplinary it is. It's not just biology or just psychology.
Okay.
It pulls from both, plus chemistry, physics, math. Even philosophy gets woven in.
Philosophy. Interesting. How does that benefit you, you think?
Well, neuroscience tackles these huge questions, right? From chemicals at a synapse level to, consciousness or behavior. Seeing problems from different angles, biology, psychology, ethics, that's got to be valuable.
Makes sense. And it looks like there's some flexibility, too.
Yeah.
Electives.
Exactly. You can kind of steer your studies, focus more on the molecular side or cognitive and behavioral or even computational neuroscience using models to understand the brain.
So you can really tailor it.
Seems like it. Plus, if you're thinking pre-med or just want a solid bio foundation, the curriculum sounds pretty rigorous. It apparently covers a lot of the bio major and pre-med track requirements anyway.
On top of the neuro and psych courses.
Right, and they make a point of including ethics in neuroscience, which is, increasingly important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the people teaching? Faculty, class size, that sort of thing.
SCU gets high marks for teaching, apparently. Close student-faculty interaction. Class sizes are small, average around 22, and lots are even smaller, under 20.
Wow, 22 average. That's pretty intimate.
Yeah, low student-faculty ratio, like 11-to-1. That kind of personal attention can really make a difference,
For sure. And who's running the show?
The program director is Dr. Patricia Simone. She's a psychology professor, did her PhD at UC San Diego, researches cognitive aging and memory. And reflecting that interdisciplinary thing, a lot of courses are co-taught by profs from both biology and psychology who specialize in neuroscience.
Okay, interesting. Now, this is often a big one for students. What about actually doing science? Hands-on learning, research?
Experiential learning looks like a major focus at SCU. It's not just an add-on.
How so?
Well, for starters, they require a senior capstone research project. So you're definitely getting your hands dirty with actual research, writing it up, presenting it. It's a solid way to apply everything.
A required capstone.
Okay.
Anything else?
Loads. They have funded research programs, like the REAL program that stands for Research Experience and Applied Learning. It gives paid research and internship opportunities.
Paid, as an undergrad.
Yep. And they specifically mention it helps first-gen and lower-income students get those chances, too. Plus, more intensive programs like Beckman Scholars, DiNardo Science Scholars for top students.
That paid research is a real leg up.
Absolutely. And even the regular lab courses are designed to have research components built in. Plus, the location, Silicon Valley.
Right. Internships must be huge there.
Totally. They emphasize internships in tech, biotech, clinical settings, mention places like Stanford Medicine, Kaiser, but also tech firms working on AI, UX, user experience, where understanding the brain is super relevant now.
Wow. So do a lot of students actually do these things?
The stat they mention is pretty impressive. Around 80% of undergrads have done an internship or research by the time they graduate.
80%. That's high.
It really is. It shows a strong institutional push. They even help students go to big conferences like the Society for Neuroscience meeting.
Okay. And I see a mention of service learning, too. Jesuit values.
Yeah, that seems part of the package. Opportunities to work with organizations supporting folks with neurological disorders, that kind of thing. It's sort of a whole person approach, academics, research, community engagement.
Tying into that location again, Silicon Valley isn't just internships, right? It's the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. The alumni network in Bay Area tech and biotech must be incredibly valuable. They mention mentorship programs, career panels with alumni who are already out there.
Imagine getting advice from someone working at, like, Neuralink or Google Health.
Or Verily, or even gaming companies trying to understand cognition better. And the curriculum prepares you for that. It includes computing and data analysis skills.
Practical skills, that's smart.
Mm-hmm. And strong ties to local hospitals, too. Stanford, Santa Clara Valley Medical Center, Kaiser Santa Clara. That opens doors for clinical research or maybe shadowing in neuropsychology or neurology.
Okay, let's shift to the campus vibe. What's it like being a student there?
Sounds like a pretty tight-knit community. It's not a huge university, about 60 or 100 undergrads.
Yeah.
And they emphasize it's a diverse student body.
That smaller size can be appealing.
Yeah, fosters that close interaction. And the Jesuit thing comes up again, focus on ethics service. Plus, they have a dedicated neuroscience club, the Neuro Club.
What do they do?
Sounds pretty active. Talks, brain-related movie nights, outreach stuff like Brain Awareness Week, career panels. A good way for neuro-interested students to connect.
Makes sense. How does the program structure work with, say, other majors or study abroad?
It seems pretty structured in the core requirements, but you get that flexibility with the electives we talked about. AP credits can help you move faster.
Any double major?
Yeah, double majors or minors seem possible, like pairing neuroscience with biochemistry, or maybe computer graphics if you're into computational neuro.
Computer graphics, interesting angle.
And you also have to take a psych or social science elective outside the main neuro track, things like human neuropsychology, psychopharmacology, or bioethics and law. Broadens the perspective.
And advising, getting help navigating all this.
They mention faculty advisors from both biology and psychology departments, helping with research plans, pre-health tracks, study abroad, which they say is definitely possible without falling behind.
Good to know. Study abroad fits in. Okay, the big question.
Yeah.
How hard is it to get in? Selectivity?
It's definitely selective, more competitive than USF, for instance. The acceptance rate was around 42% for fall 2023.
So pretty competitive. What kind of students are they looking for?
Strong academics, naturally. Average unweighted GPA is high, like 3.8-ish. They're test optional now. But for those who sent scores, the ranges were pretty high, too.
Say TCT's in the upper range.
Yeah. They look hard at your high school courses, challenging science and math classes. And they also consider fit things like leadership, service, aligning with that Jesuit mission.
And you don't apply directly to neuroscience.
Correct. You apply to the College of Arts and Sciences first, then declare the major later.
Got it. Okay, let's talk cost. Private university, so
Yeah.
expensive.
The sticker price is high, yeah. And this is but they offer pretty generous financial aid.
How generous?
Over 60% of undergrads get some kind of aid, and the average package is substantial, around $46,000 a year. That brings the average net price down quite a bit, though it varies a lot by a family income.
$46,000 average package. Okay. What kinds of aid?
Need-based grants, merit scholarships like the Johnson Scholars, talent scholarships too. And they say almost all freshmen with need get some aid, meeting a good chunk of that need.
What about local Bay Area students? Any discount?
No in-state discount since it's private, but commuting is an option, saves on housing. And they can compete for local scholarships. Plus, payment plans, work study.
And those paid research spots, like the REAL program.
Exactly. That provides real money, like $5,000 for summer or part-time work. Add in a high 4-year graduation rate and being named a top ROI school. It makes the cost calculation look different for many families.
Right. ROI is key. Okay, that's a deep dive into SCU. Let's head north across the bay now. University of San Francisco, USF. What's the story there for neuroscience?
So the sources we have indicate USF offers a neuroscience minor, but not a dedicated undergraduate major.
Okay. Minor, not major. That's a pretty crucial distinction if your heart is set on majoring in neuroscience.
Definitely. You could probably build a good foundation through related majors, maybe biology or psychology, and add the minor. But it's not the same as a full dedicated program like SCU's.
Got it. So maybe less of a focus if the major itself is the main goal. What about the campus culture, though?
USF is known for being really diverse and having a strong social conscience, ranked super high nationally for ethnic diversity.
That's a big draw for many students.
For sure. And like SCU, it's a Jesuit university, so there's that emphasis on community service, ethics, care for the whole person, as they say.
Any specific focus within that?
They seem to put some emphasis on neurodiversity and mental health equity, which is interesting, could be a good fit if those specific areas resonate with you.
And the general vibe? Competitive, collaborative.
Reports suggest it's more welcoming and collaborative, less cutthroat, and they do have a club for neuroscience students, CNS. It's for minors, related majors, anyone interested, really.
So there's still a community for neuro-interested folks.
Yeah, they do events, talks, outreach, brain awareness stuff. And being right in San Francisco, that urban campus has pluses culture, internships.
Right. The city itself is a huge resource, even without a dedicated major on campus.
Exactly. Access to opportunities.
Okay, affordability at USF. Similar ballpark to SCU.
It's another significant investment, yes. High sticker price. But again, substantial financial aid is available.
Same kinds of aid. Need-based merit.
Pretty much. Need-based grants, merit scholarships, talent scholarships. Similar stats, too. About 61% get aid, average package around $46,000. Net price varies, but aid makes a big difference.
And high percentage of freshmen with lead get something.
Correct. About 98% get some aid, covering on average about 2/3 of their need. Again, no in-state discount for Bay Area folks, but commuting, off-campus living after sophomore year, local scholarships are options.
Payment plans, work study too.
Yes, those are available. And potential for paid research assistant spots or summer stipends through internal grants, plus support for seeking external fellowships, like from the NIH. They also get called out as a best value school.
Okay, so minor, not major, but diverse, urban Jesuit, good aid potential. Got it.
Yeah.
Now, let's head across today to the big one. University of California, Berkeley.
Ah, Berkeley. Yes, and this is where things get really interesting because, as we mentioned, they are launching a brand new undergraduate neuroscience major starting fall 2024.
That's huge news. First new biosci department there in, what, 30 years?
Over 30 years, yeah, it's a major signal of commitment. Before this, if you wanted to focus on neuro at Berkeley, it was mostly an emphasis track within the molecular and cell biology MCB major.
So this is a standalone dedicated program now.
Exactly. Starting with the 2025-2026 academic year, and neurofocused students will actually need to declare this major. It really carves out neuroscience as its own distinct field at Berkeley undergrad level. Likely means a more tailored, in-depth curriculum.
And Berkeley's reputation, I mean, it speaks for itself, right?
Really?
Top-ranked globally, public and private.
Consistently, U.S. News, Wall Street Journal, Forbes, usually top 1 or 2 public, top 20 overall. Huge research prestige, tons of Nobel laureates on faculty. You're learning in a world-class environment, no question.
Okay, so what does this new major actually look like, curriculum-wise?
It's designed to be comprehensive, but also flexible. Strong core foundation, lower division chem, bio, calculus, physics, then upper division core neuro courses covering molecular cellular levels up to circuit systems and behavior.
Standard foundational stuff sounds like. Anything unique?
Well, they have a specific course called Scientific Logic and Communication, and EU 110. It focuses explicitly on analyzing scientific info, communicating it effectively, uses active learning, so more hands-on than just lectures.
That sounds really useful. Practical skills again. What about labs?
Lab component is required. Options include an advanced neurobiology lab, NEU 171L, that teaches some really cool techniques.
Like what?
Electrophysiology, recording electrical activity from neurons. And optogenetics, using light to control specific brain cells. Super cutting-edge stuff. There's also a neuroanatomy lab, maybe a new cognitive computational lab.
Wow, optogenetics in an undergrad lab.
Seems like it. And interestingly, you can also petition to substitute doing research in a faculty lab for the required course lab. So research is really integrated.
Speaking of research,
Yeah.
at Berkeley, that must be a huge emphasis.
Oh, absolutely. Strongly encourage right from the start. You can get academic credit for research, NEU 99, 199 for independent study, NEU 191 for a senior thesis.
Where can you do this research? Just within the neuro department?
Nope. And this is pretty cool. They explicitly allow research in affiliated labs across Berkeley, like at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, or even outside institutions like Children's Hospital Oakland Research Institute or UCSF.
UCSF too, wow.
Yeah, as long as you get a Berkeley neuroscience faculty member to sponsor you, it really opens up the entire Bay Area research ecosystem. Many students join labs by sophomore or junior year.
That's incredible access. Any special research programs?
Yes, the Gunther Stent Neuroscience Research Scholars Program. It gives a pretty hefty stipend, $7,500, for a year of focused research with a faculty mentor.
7.5 grand to do research for a year. Nice.
Yeah. Plus, general campus programs like URAP, the Research Apprentice Program, and SURF for summer research are open to neuro students too, often with the stipends.
Okay, Berkeley is obviously huge. What's the student body like in terms of diversity, community within this new major?
Berkeley as a whole is incredibly diverse. Ethnically, racially, socioeconomically. High percentage of first-generation students from low-income families receiving Pell Grants.
And you expect the neuroscience major to reflect that?
Highly likely, yes. And the department itself says it's committed to inclusion. There might be specific initiatives to support underrepresented groups in STEM, plus active chapters of groups like SACNES and NSBE.
So resources and community support are there.
Seems so. Programs like Berkeley Seed Scholars specifically help underrepresented students in science. The vibe is likely engaging, discovery-focused, probably a strong sense of community forming within this new major. Study groups, departmental audience, that sort of thing.
Okay, flexibility. Can you pair neuroscience with other things at Berkeley? Double major.
Yes, definitely designed with flexibility. Double majors, even simultaneous degrees are allowed. Think neuroscience plus data science, or cog-sci, computer science.
Data science and neuro sounds like a powerful combo.
Totally. And there's even a special program, the Robinson Life Science Business and Entrepreneurship Program, LSBE. You can get a dual degree, BA in neuroscience and a BS in business from the Haas School.
Whoa, neuro and business. That's unique. Geared towards biotech, maybe.
Exactly, biotech, entrepreneurship. But even outside that specific program, double majoring within letters and science seems quite doable. There's a dedicated undergrad advising office to help plan it all out.
Does it take longer?
The major itself is designed for 4 years. They have sample plans. Study abroad is possible too. And LNS allows a 9th semester if needed for double majors or simultaneous degrees, so there's some wiggle room.
Okay, admission. We know Berkeley is tough to get into overall. How does it work for this specific major? Do you apply directly?
No, that's the key thing. Just like SCU in a way, but different context, you apply to the College of Letters and Science at Berkeley, usually as an undeclared major initially.
So you have to get into Berkeley first, into LNS, which is the hard part, right? Like an 11% admit rate recently.
Exactly. Overall admission is highly competitive. But once you're in LNS, declaring the neuroscience major is relatively straightforward.
How so?
You just need to complete the required prerequisite courses, the basic, chem, bio, calc, physics, with a minimum GPA, like a 2.0.
Just a 2.0 in the prereqs.
That's what the source indicates for declaration. Now, obviously, you'll want to do well in those courses, but unlike, say, computer science or engineering at Berkeley, neuroscience is not currently capacity constrained or capped beyond meeting those prereq requirements.
So get into Berkeley LNS, pass the intro science courses, and you can declare neuroscience. That's surprisingly accessible once you're past the main admission hurdle.
Right. It removes a layer of internal competition that exists for some other popular majors there, though you still need a strong STEM background to get admitted to Berkeley in the first place if you're aiming for neuro. High GPA, good science courses, maybe some research experience, strong essays.
Makes sense. Okay, final piece, affordability at Berkeley. Public university, California residents. Should be better.
Generally, yes, especially for in-state students with financial need. Berkeley is known for generous need-based aid. Over a third of undergrads get full tuition and fees covered.
Full tuition covered, wow.
Yeah, through programs like the UC Blue and Gold Opportunity Plan, which covers tuition for families under about $80,000 income, plus Cal Grants, Berkeley's own grants. Many middle-class families get significant aid, too.
So the net price, what you actually pay, could be much lower than the sticker price, especially for Californians.
Often dramatically lower. Average net price for in-state students with need can be under $20 a year, sometimes under $10 for lower-income families.
That's a huge difference compared to private options.
It really is. And remember, that Stent Research Scholars Program, that $7,500 stipend helps offset costs or the need to work elsewhere while doing research. So for California residents especially, Berkeley can be a remarkably affordable path to top-tier neuroscience education and research.
Okay, fantastic breakdown. So wrapping this deep dive up, let's quickly hit the highlights again for each SCU.
Santa Clara. Dedicated interdisciplinary undergrad major, strong focus on hands-on research, internships, paid opportunities, great teaching, small classes, Silicon Valley location, Jesuit values,
Hmm.
selective but good aid.
USF.
University of San Francisco offers a neuroscience minor, not a major currently. Very diverse, socially conscious campus, urban setting in SF with opportunities, Jesuit values again, also significant financial aid available.
And Berkeley.
UC Berkeley. Brand new, comprehensive, flexible neuroscience major starting fall 2024. World-class research university, incredible resources, access to Bay Area ecosystem, highly competitive admission to Berkeley, but declaring the major itself is straightforward after prerequisites. Excellent financial aid, especially for California residents.
Great summary. So for you listening, the real question comes down to, what are you looking for?
Exactly. What part of neuroscience truly excites you? Is it the close community and undergrad research focus you might find at SCU, the urban vibe and social justice angle at USF, maybe paired with the minor?
Or is it the sheer research power, the prestige, and now the dedicated major at a global powerhouse like Berkeley?
Yeah, think about what really drives your curiosity about the brain. Then dig deeper into how the specific strengths, the culture, the opportunities at each of these places might align with your passions and your goals.
Hopefully this deep dive gave you a really solid starting point for that exploration.